Hey guys, it's Easy Vape Pro here. Just doing a video for you guys. Some of you first timers to vaping here, or you're trying to get started onto vaping. You might want to quit smoking, found that you smoke a lot or you smoke for a number of years and wanted to try something different. For me personally, I was a smoker for 20 plus years and really couldn't find anything to help me stop. Tried the patch, and with no luck, I quit for a period of time. I think successfully, I was able to quit for a couple years, and then unfortunately went back. I have been vaping now for about a year and a half, and has been successful for me to quit smoking altogether. I haven't touched a cigarette for over a year, and find that I feel way better physically. Used to wake up in the mornings, not feeling so good from smoking cigarettes, hack a lung, that kind of thing. Be out of breath when I played sports or walked anywhere, kind of thing. And now I feel way better, almost like I've quit smoking altogether. So, just wanted to make this video a bit of informational to let some of you guys know what I did. I went through some hardships when I first started vaping. It is different than cigarettes. You do get a different draw from it, and it is a vapor that's going into your lungs as opposed to smoke. Now, you might think that that's better for you, and which it is. But because you've been used to having cigarettes and smoking cigarettes and having that smoke go into your lungs, your body has adapted to it. So when you first start vaping, you're going to cough. That's going to be normal. It's kind of a different method of bringing that nicotine and that vapor into your lungs. So don't feel discouraged thinking that you're coughing a lot or you might be allergic to it. It is quite normal. And you probably had the same effects when you first started smoking as well. I went through a bit of hardship because of that. I didn't know. I had to kind of research, go online, go on YouTube, and I was able to find some videos that were helpful and some videos that were not. And basically to get the right products and get a setup that worked for me. I was able to find a local store and buy my products there. Although when I first started off, I started off with some tanks. You have different tanks that you can use for vaping. Initially, I got this one, which is a top fill tank, and it has a coil inside with these wicks here. These cotton wicks inside. So when you fill the tank here with the liquid, it gets absorbed into these wicks here. So this was not necessarily a tank that I wanted to use on a daily basis. That wasn't going to work for me. And when I needed a puff, or I was out, or even at home, I didn't want to be fiddling around with it trying to get it to work, just so that I could vape on it, kind of thing. I started off with this battery, which essentially runs your unit. You'll screw it on like so, and your battery, which is rechargeable, this one is called the Evod 2, and it's the first battery that I bought. It is very slim, kind of sleek design, stainless steel. And what you do here is you click the button 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and as you can see, it lights up there. When you do that, then you just hold the button and it heats up the coil and the liquid, and then you're able to take a draw from it. Now, this tank here, I do not recommend. Even for beginners, it's kind of a beginner's tank that will be sold to you. They're fairly cheap, but I haven't had a lot of success with it, as I mentioned. So just trying to help you guys avoid some of those trial and errors that I had to go through to get your first vape setup. I mean, there's many setups out there. You can get into the sub-ohm tanks, sub-ohm batteries, and so forth. But when you're initially starting vaping, that's just going to be way too much for you, and that's not going to work either. So I'm just going to show you a setup here that I did start with that was successful for me. I'll add some more videos later and give some description as well into some of the tanks that worked for me. This battery has been great. It does work great still. I don't use it much anymore, but it is a very small battery, so it's easy to carry. You can put it in your pocket or in your backpack, in a sleeve, whatever. It's really light and easy to carry around. The only thing is that because it is small, the battery inside it is small and doesn't last for a long time. You can recharge it here. You just unscrew this tip here at the bottom of the battery, and you have a USB connection there that you can use. Now you can either charge that with a USB wall adapter or plug it into your computer, whatever you'd like to use. So it's a bit of a mini USB there on the bottom. Charging times will take about 3 to 4 hours to charge the unit entirely. Although the life of the battery throughout the day, depending how much you use it, might only last you about 5 to 6 hours. So with that in mind, if you are going out for a long time or going out for the night, you might have the issue that your battery will die on you, and then you will not be able to vape. So another product that I have here, which is the carbon fiber Aspire variable voltage. Now this one does have a bigger battery, and as you can see, it's a lot bigger, longer than the Evod 2, but it still is quite sleek. Same push button 5 times, and that lights up. You can attach your tanks to it just the same. And again, once you fire that button with the liquid inside, it's going to burn it and you're able to do your vaping. Now, my recommendation for the beginners is a tank like this one here, this Aspire, and it's carbon fiber variable voltage. What the variable voltage stands for is that at the bottom here, there is some play here where you're able to adjust your voltage from 3.3 volts all the way up to 4.8 volts. I know it's kind of hard to see on the camera here, but you can go anywhere between those two voltage points, which helps. If you do have a tank on here or certain liquid, you will find that by adjusting it, the voltage by 1 or 2 volts, sometimes you will get better flavor or a better vape. Now, everyone has different preferences as well, and as a beginner, like I mentioned, you're going to have some setbacks with vaping as opposed to smoking. It is different. It's a different draw. So again, this variable voltage will help. You can turn it way down, go from 3.3 if you want, and get a little bit of a draw from it. Or if you feel that's not enough, you can turn it up to your desired liking. So if you feel like the vape is not really bugging your throat or your lungs kind of thing, and you're not coughing that much, but you want to get more of a draw from it to absorb that nicotine, because you did just come off cigarettes. You can turn up the voltage. So that's that one there. That's the battery recommendation that I started with. Worked very well for me. Battery lasts about 8 to 10 hours. So that'll last you a full day. And I will show you the charging unit here. It comes with a charging unit, which you just basically plug into the wall, and then you just screw the unit into it, just like you'd be screwing the tank into it. And you plug that into the wall, and again about 4 hours, and you'll have a fully charged unit. Now with this unit, as well as the battery's getting low, when you do have it on, it shows a blue light for a full charge. As it's getting low, it'll start blinking with a yellow light, and that will be an indication that your battery's running low. You're also not going to get the same kind of draws off of it when the battery is running out. So to keep that in mind, it gives you a little bit of an indication. It says, you know, your vape's running out, your battery's dying, you need to charge it. Now, what you could do, and some people have done, is they buy a couple of these batteries. They're not that expensive. You might be able to get them for about 30, 40 bucks. And they're going to last you a long time. You get 2 of them. You have one fully charged. That way you can interchange if one does run out, if you're going to be away from a power source, or while you're charging one of your units kind of thing. You're still able to vape if you want to. So that's my recommendation here for the tank, which is the Aspire carbon fiber variable voltage. And you can also get this in different colors. I have like a black color here. You can get it in a lighter gray, red and blue as well, to fit your preferences on that. So that is, again, the Aspire carbon fiber variable voltage, where you're able to adjust the voltage to suit your needs as you start vaping. My second recommendation for a tank is the Kanger Protank 3. This is a bottom fill tank, and it holds about 2.5 milliliters of liquid. And what you do is you just unscrew the bottom here, and you just want to pour your liquid inside the tank here, avoiding this center part here, because that's where the mouthpiece, it connects to the mouthpiece, so you don't want any liquid going inside that circle there or down in there. You want to pour it along the sides here and fill up the tank. This is your coil here that's attached to it, and you can purchase coils, because they will burn out after time, maybe after a couple weeks. You might start getting kind of a burnt taste, or it's just not working very well. These are replaceable, and you can buy them for like a couple of dollars, either online or at the store. You can buy them in a package of 5 or 10 kind of thing. And what that does is this is what actually heats up from the power source. So when you fire your battery, it's actually heating up this coil here, and that coil in turn is heating up the liquid from your tank. You'll see here it has on the sides, it has like little wicks, and that goes inside the coil there that heats up. So these are cotton wicks, and your liquid will be absorbed into there, and once it's fired through your battery and it heats up, that will create the vapor that you'll be taking the draw off through the top of the tank there. So that just screws in like that, very simple. And once you fill your tank with liquid, you will just pop it back in there, screw it on, make sure it's nice and tight, And voila, there you go. Then you'll screw that onto your battery and fire it up, and you're good to go. And again, adjusting your voltage to your desired preference. This tank here did have a bit of leaking, is one thing. I did use it on a daily basis and say it was quite durable. So I'd highly recommend the Protank 3 to get started with. It does have a removable drip tip as well, and you can clean your tank, wash it out with water between different flavors if you're adding it, letting it dry out completely, and then you can put it back together and fill it with your new liquid, or add another coil if you need to, that kind of thing. Recommend the Protank 3 by Kanger Tech. It's not a very expensive tank, probably about $30 to $40. You can find it online. Very durable Pyrex glass. I mean, you don't want to smash this or drop it hard on the ground because the glass will break, but it is very durable. It's not something that's going to break really easily. This tank I used for several months and it worked great. It worked fantastic. I got a good draw from it. And as I said, I did get some minor leaking at times from the bottom, from the coil. And some liquid would seep through onto the top of my battery here. And I would just wipe that off using some paper towel or that kind of thing, and then just reattach. Because otherwise it would, if it did get too flooded with the juice, you'd get some problems sometimes with the vaping. Now, if you just want to go through and pass that trial and error that I went through with a bit of the leaking of the Kanger tank, I do recommend this Protank 3. I think it was great. I got a good draw from it and was able to actually quit smoking and move right into vaping with this product. I will show you another one here real quick that just eliminated all those problems for me. And this right here is the Aspire Nautilus tank. You can obviously you can use a lot more juice in here. I think there's about 5 mils that you can put into this tank, and it is a rather large tank, but when you attach it, you know, it still looks good, but it's obviously going to make your unit a little bit longer and bigger. But if you want to fill it with juice, you can fill 5 mils in here and basically run the whole day with it without having to change or fiddle with it. Now, this tank here, highly recommended for the beginners. You're probably going to pay about $40 for this tank. You can find it online. It's called the Aspire Nautilus. It has a removable drip tip. As well, you can you can unscrew this part and the bottom, and the tank comes right apart. You can remove the glass, clean it out, that kind of thing. And it has a different coil here that when I started it had the bottom coil, and I'll just unscrew it here. It's a different kind of coil than the previous Kanger that I showed you, but it does work a lot better. Now these ones, the new coils for this unit is called a bottom vertical coil, and the coil is actually vertical inside there. We can't really see. It's hard to see. It's quite small, but you can see that the coil is vertical, and your juice will flow in through the holes here, and there is that cotton inside again where your juice will absorb and then will be heated by the coil. These are replaceable as well, these coils. You can just screw it out here, just like the previous one that I showed you. And these are replaceable. You can buy these in the store. Again, they're about $4 for a replacement coil. And they'll last you quite a long time. The Aspire coils were really great on this Aspire Nautilus. They're the bottom vertical coil, and then you can just screw that right back in to your base here. Fill your tank with some juice, and you can fill up up to 5 mils, I believe, in this one, and then you just replace your bottom here, screwing it in. Now, like I said, with the variable voltage unit that I showed you here, the Aspire, it's the same company and it runs really great with these tanks. So that's what I highly recommend for a beginner. And it also, like I said, the variable voltage will help with your draw if you want a less heated draw or if you want more of a draw. This unit here as well has a different air holes as well, so you can select the amount of air you want getting in while you're taking a draw from it. So you can see there's a large hole there that's going to get your maximum airflow, and this is an adjustable airflow where you can move it to a smaller one, or you got 3 adjustments to the smallest hole here. So you're not going to get as big of a draw. You can set it to your preference. If you like bigger draws and you want more of a vape and get more clouds, you can open it right up. You'll get some good clouds as well with this tank, and get quite a good draw. So it's very helpful when you're switching from smoking to vaping that you get that into your lungs and you are absorbing that nicotine to basically get the needs that you want from that. I would recommend right here the Aspire Nautilus, and like I said, another unit that was really helpful for me was the Kanger Protank 3. If you wanted to skip this one altogether, because I did have some leaking issues with this one, just go straight for the Aspire Nautilus. And I'll show you the box right here for the Aspire Nautilus, and it comes with a replacement coil inside the box, as well as a coil already in the tank when you purchase it. It's really a great tank for beginners. I didn't have any problem with leaking. You do want to clean it out every once in a while, just so there is no clogging in the center pipe there and in your mouthpiece, that kind of thing. It is normal that you might get a little bit of liquid in this area or in the pipe, or condensation, that kind of thing, but you can just wipe that down, and you can wash out your tank with a little bit of soap and some warm water, that kind of thing. Let it dry out completely. You want to remove your coil as well. You don't want to submerge your coil in the water, so you remove that first, and then you can wash each piece of the unit individually. Hope this helps you out for the beginners. I had a really positive experience with this tank and with this battery. Battery lasts you about 8 to 10 hours, and depending on the voltage that you use as well, higher voltage is gonna bring down your battery time a little bit. I usually had it set kind of right in the middle, about 3.8, 3.7 volts, and that worked really well for me. I used to smoke about a pack a day, and now I've successfully moved on from smoking and vaping, which is saving myself a whole lot of money, as opposed to $10 a day that I was spending, plus a day that I was spending on cigarettes. I spend you know, once I buy the product, this has lasted me years already. Tank at $40, and you might spend another $40 to $40 to $50 on your battery. That's $100 right there, but it's lasted me years now. I've had this unit for about a year, a little less than a year and a half. And it still works great. So it's a great investment. The juice as well, you can buy it in a 10 mil or 30 mil bottle, just like this one here. This is a 30 mil bottle. I purchased it for about $23 with tax, and that'll last me about a week and a half to 2 weeks. So there you go. You're spending about $20 to $30 possibly on juice per week or every couple of weeks, and that saves you a lot of money as opposed to smoking. And like I said, the health benefits have been awesome. I feel way better with the vaping. I actually don't feel like I need it so much all the time. And also with the juices, you're able to get a stronger milligram when you start. So if you smoke strong cigarettes and quite a bit, you might want to go with an 18 milligram nicotine juice, which you can go down to 14 milligram from there, which is kind of a medium. You can even drop down to a 6 milligram, and that will help either wean you off smoking or nicotine altogether if that's what you're looking to do, or you know, give you what suits your needs at that moment in time. If you just want to switch over from cigarettes, I'd recommend a higher nicotine level because that's going to be kind of on par with what you were smoking with cigarettes. So there you go, guys. Hope that helps you out for the beginners here. That's the Aspire carbon fiber variable voltage and the Nautilus, Aspire Nautilus tank. Had great results with this. Go into your stores or go online and you'll be able to find both of these units, and hopefully that will help you out. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll have more videos to come with some reviews and also some commentaries on the products and my experiences. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.